Hey, hi, howdy, how are you folks? My name is Nallex, and welcome back to another League of Legends video. A different champion than you're used to seeing on the channel. This time, we're playing some Nocturne in the jungle. I've been really interested in seeing how Nocturne works. We've obviously been playing a lot of Shyvana and Kayn, looking for another champion that's really good at farming and has a really good scaling ult. You can power farm to level 6 and then look to get some free kills off of it. This game, I absolutely destroyed. I had a really fun time. It is my first game on Nocturne, so we're gonna have to forgive ourselves for some pretty obvious mistakes that we make. But, you know, we're gonna do our best to just see what we learn from this experience. One of the nice things about making videos like this is while I am trying to give you guys good information on how to climb in League of Legends and how to play characters, I'm also learning a lot myself. You know, I see my mistakes a lot clearer in hindsight than I would if I was just like, what did I do wrong that game that I can improve on? Especially on games like this, where they're a pretty convincing win. I wish I had a cool skin on Nocturne. I'm not the biggest fan of his base model. It just looks very, very goofy. But I think most Nocturne skins probably look pretty goofy. So yeah, pretty standard stuff here. Gonna go red, Krugs, Raptors, Wolves, Gromp, Blue. Pretty standard stuff. Trying to weave in our auto attacks while kiting the camp backwards, just like any other champ. A little bit different on Nocturne compared to Shyvana level 1. He does have a bit of a higher attack speed, so I don't need to go quite as far. First blood going to my bot lane. You know how it is. Is it really a solo queue game if at least 2 of your lanes aren't getting pooped on? Is it really? You know, it doesn't count as solo queue if your lanes aren't getting pooped on. Here we go, though, clearing those camps. If we had waited just a half second, we probably could have gotten all 6 of those with our passive auto attack. Just a little bit of a mistiming thing there. We'll forgive ourselves for it. If you don't already know what Nocturne's passive does, every 12 seconds, which also gets reduced by every auto attack you do a sweeping auto attack, which heals you based on the damage dealt. It's probably his biggest tool for having a good clear in the early game, because it's really good on camps like Raptors and the Wolves, like this. Now, I'm not too sure on ability order and what abilities I should be using during the clear. If you guys are like Nocturne players that are probably higher elo than me, feel free to give me all kinds of tips. I had a lot of feedback on the Shyvana game I uploaded last week, and people were talking, you know, giving me a lot of really good tips on how to play Shyvana that, you know, I wouldn't have thought of myself because I don't know them, right? So if you guys have tips, feel free to share them. And also, if you guys have any champions you really want to see me play, let me know. I'd be happy to oblige. Might have to take a couple games into the normal first before we go straight into ranked. You know, you don't want to first pick a champion on a ranked game. Although that is what I did here, so don't think too much about it. Do as I say, not as I do, you know? All right, finishing up that Gromp right as the Scuttle Crab is spawning. We're on a really good timer here. As we talked about in a previous video, in low elo, 90% of the time, people are going to clear from bot to top. Just get that extra large leash from your bot lane, and then you can clear towards top, which basically makes that Scuttle Crab completely free. Now, my bot lane's nowhere to be found, so there's no gank to be found here either. We're perfectly happy just doing what we've always done, which is clear all 6 camps, recall, and potentially get a pickaxe. But this time, I make a little smarter of a decision to actually go for the Stride Breaker. I was looking at the build for Nocturne. It's not much of an assassin build anymore these days. It's much more of a bruiser focused build, and I'm really all about that life. I am a big fan of bruiser builds. I think they're way more fun to play than assassin builds, because I don't like getting blown up constantly. You know what I'm saying? So here we're just restarting our clear, doing things that we would do basically any other time. Looking at that dragon spawning as our next objective to run towards. Hoping to get to it basically as soon as it spawns. We'll probably be about 10 seconds late or so. But as I talked about in a previous video, the biggest thing you want to do is just be on there as soon as humanly possible. If you do that, you have a much wider window to make a play without the opponent even realizing you're doing anything. We're in the camps here. My mid lane dies. Could be looking towards mid lane here, seeing what's going on. Check bot lane, see what's going on there. Mid lane's about 3/4 the health, but the whole wave is here. My mid lane's just kind of chilling in base, so that is free money in our pocket that we will always take. spot a ward, get 5 gold, you know the drill. And there we go, we're straight towards that dragon. And this is one of those weird situations where it's like we don't have any mid pressure, we have no bot pressure, but because we're on the dragon so quickly, we actually do have a bit of an angle. And then a level 6 Vex absolutely murks our support player. So we're just playing slow here. But watch this. This is a really interesting thing that happens, right? As they back off, they assume I'm gone, right? They assume no one's going to do this. I don't even let the dragon reset. I'm already back on it, and I'm not going until this thing is gone, right? In their minds, I've been pushed away, right? I'm not coming back. But reality-wise, I am on this dragon the second they don't have vision of it, which lets me get it for free. And we love getting free objectives on this channel. Probably one of my favorite things in the game. Because we saw Warwick here, we know he's not on the grubs. We don't need to rush over there, try and steal them or anything like that. We're perfectly fine to just go start our clear back up in the bot side. Now, our bot lane is getting killed. If they were playing a little smarter or really had any kind of pressure, it definitely would have been an opportunity where I could look to gank them and get a kill. But as it stands, they were getting pooped on and everybody full health. I don't have my ult yet. There's absolutely no reason for me to be ganking. Nocturne and Shyvana, one of those champions that you really want to focus on farm. If your ult's up, then you can look to gank. That's the basic rules until we get towards late game, where basically all rules get thrown out the window. But look, we get our level 6. We are immediately on our way. We were going to go on the Draven, but he dies too quickly. Instead, we go on to the Leona, get a free kill. The second our ult was up, we look towards bot lane, right? That's what you do on Nocturne. The second your ult's up, you make a play, because the enemies won't be prepared for your ult because they don't know you have it yet. Last they saw you, you were level 4, level 5. They won't expect your ult to be up, ready, and coming directly towards them as soon as possible, right? If you wait a minute and do it, they'll know that your ult's coming and they'll be a little bit more prepared for it. If you do it the second you get it, oh my goodness, it's a free kill almost every time. Hot side camp's cleared. We're going straight into the top side, clearing that red buff first instead of the Krugs, because, you know, we want the red buff down as soon as possible, and we also want to make sure that our Krugs and Raptors spawn on that same timer. We've been here before. You know the drill. You've watched these videos before, at least theoretically. Hey, if you're watching for the first time, thanks for joining us. We've been doing a lot of work on the kind of production quality side of things, of the videos. I think things are going really well, and tell you what, folks are responding to it. We're getting lots of views on the Shyvana games. Figured we might branch out and see if some other champions need to get some love. Nocturne, very fun champion. I really do enjoy his playstyle, where that ult is so strong, especially the level 2 ult. Oh, it's so good. And you just can make so many plays. One of my favorite things that Nocturnes do is use the ult to control vision specifically. Like, you can make it so that way they can't steal the dragon by putting vision off, you know, just pressing your ult, they can't see anything. Another opportunity here where our mid lane's gone. We'll take that. 20 seconds on our ult, right? We don't have a full item. There's nothing we can do to fight here, right? There's no reason for us to go in without our ult. Once we have our ult, things become very different. So we're watching this Vex start walking back up, and this is one of those moments where the inexperience on Nocturne probably comes into play a lot here, right? Vex also sees us, but we know that, and we still just go for it anyway. We press our ult at a very awkward time because the Vex immediately hits the bush. We press our W too early, and, well, the rest is history. No one's fault but my own. Probably could have been played a little bit better from a better mechanical player. But you know what? It's our first time on Nocturne, so we're going to give ourselves a break on that one. And what we need to learn there is that we can't just always press our W as soon as we press our ult. We need to think about when our fear is going to go off. That's when they're going to want to CC us, right? If we get our fear off before they CC us, that's really bad for them. If they CC us right as the fear goes off, it's really good for them. So, like we just saw there, Vex waited to use her spell, 1, until after my W was down, 2, right when my fear went off. If I would have waited, and I could have guaranteed my fear by waiting, then I would have gotten that kill. Probably still would have died, but would have traded my life for it at the very least. 60 seconds on my ult. Even though Leon is low, it's more efficient for us to just get our farm. Unfortunately, this Draven is doing some work on our team. It's all good though. We're scaling, and you know, TF's really strong in the late game. So is Zillion, Set, and Mel. So even if they die a bunch right now, as long as we find the angles, every game is winnable. On the Raptors right as they spawn, always feels good to do that. We're looking at Vex on our minimap here, looking at Mel being low, thinking maybe we can try and do something, but you know, there's just really no angle for it. Set's getting jumped by the Warwick again. And now our ult's almost off cooldown, so we're definitely watching this top lane fight, seeing how low this Warwick gets. And we're very prepared to just jump on him as soon as possible. After we kill the camp, of course. But look at this. We see where Warwick's going. That's awkward, buddy. And I probably shouldn't have used my ult here. I was worried about him using his own to get away, so I wanted to make sure I secured that kill before I did anything else. I don't think it's a bad decision to ult there. I think it's probably a better decision to wait for it and then use the ult on the Gangplank. But hey, we'll take second grubs. Doing a bit of you know, damage sharing here to keep those grubs on low HP. I believe it's faster to hit all of them at once rather than focusing on one at a time. Anybody who actually knows, feel free to tell me. I'd actually be happy to know. Draven 1 HP, Leona 1 HP, but they're both really far pushed up, so we know that our Twisted Fate has that handled. We're going straight to the dragon on its spawn. And look, because we're playing so directly on these timers, we're here at this fight before Warwick is. And so is Armel before anyone else is, so I can just kind of sit and stare at Warwick while I'm like, I have a lot of damage coming, and you're not going to be able to kill me, so it works out for us. Warwick's greatest strength is standing still and fighting, but his biggest weakness is stupidity most of the time. No offense on Warwick players. Honestly, that champ's really difficult to pilot really well. He's got some really easy combos, and like he's pretty strong without you making like the perfect decisions. But winning in fights when you're not like super far ahead, Warwick is a really difficult champion to watch. And I especially like watching Warwick players do the what's the word? The stutter on his Q, so that way you can avoid CC. Very impressive when I see that done. It looks really difficult to do. But look, we are ignoring our bot lane. We don't have our ult up. We cannot help them. We can get this dragon though, and that'll help the whole team for the rest of the game. 3 objectives on our side, 3 kills on their side. It's just up to the next tower, which would be, you know, a little bit of a hope, but then we look at our tower and realize, oh, it's just dead. We'll grab a little bit of adaptive force from that little infernal soul. What are those called? Infernal spark or something like that? I don't know what they're called, but you collect them. It's kind of like the blood roses. You collect those, you get a little bit of damage on your abilities and things like that. So look, we have our ult up here. We are looking to potentially go for this Vex, but then we see, and right, we are very much so looking at this Vex. Vex gets under the tower, and we see Warwick running straight at our Mel, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I'll just do the thing to Warwick again that I did last time, like this. Beautiful prediction on where he's going to be with the Q. I will say hitting skill shots is one skill I don't have to worry about not having on Nocturne. We full hit him with every ability before he has any chance to react, and we W his W, which is really, really important, or sorry, his E. His fear, if we don't hit our W to stop that from hitting us, is gonna make him get away. So time that right, and that's the big thing. Nocturne is one of those champions where his W is really, really strong, but you don't really think about it that much while you're playing him. You really need to focus on just timing that W correctly, and you'll win so many more fights than you would otherwise. Believe you me. But we're already at 3 kills. There's no objectives on the map, and we just cleared our full comp side. We got 2,700 gold waiting to spend. Let's go back and do it. We got our level 11 ult. We got our Stridebreaker purchase. We are set to buy a whole lot of really good stuff and then go back. I accidentally bought 2 ruby crystals. Happens to the best of us. We need a ruby crystal by the end of this anyway, so it doesn't really delay us too much. It just speeds up our next item. You know, we're splitting the difference in a way. Looking to fight here, looking to just, you know, find an angle. Draven flashes away, but not quite far enough. He still gets hit by the fear. We flash right on top of him. I don't know why I did that. Probably just inexperience with Nocturne. Definitely could have just walked straight at him and murdered him that way. But, you know, we still got the kill at the end of the day. Rift Herald is spawning. I'm not too worried about it. If Warwick wants to get it on its spawn, I don't think it'll be that big of a deal. It's definitely on the other side of the map for me, and quite a long walk for an objective that, in my opinion, isn't nearly as impactful as almost all the other ones. It can be really strong if you find an opportunity to get a Rift Herald off, and it does go really well for you. That's great. But for me, in my experience, I'm not a huge fan of Rift Herald. I feel like it's almost a bait of a fight because it has so much health, takes a long time to kill, and leaves you pretty vulnerable. Good news is it doesn't do much damage, but still pretty annoying. Now, right now, at this point in the game, because we are super strong, we're looking to expand our lead, and one of the best ways to do that on Nocturne is to finish your ultimate hunter as soon as possible. You see right now we have 3 out of 5. We've killed most of the people or had an impact in a kill on most of the people, but we've not quite gotten all 5 of them. Vex is very elusive, and so is this Gangplank. Or at least he was. He walks up to fight me, and one passive auto will kill 2 people, which is just a fun look. It just looks fun when that stuff happens. Set very angry. I did not hit the Blood Rose. Didn't realize what it was until I was already way too far walking just to get one of them. And he'll get it eventually anyway, right, guys? But look, our ult is up, and there's 3 people pushing mid. We could push this tower and potentially get like 700 gold. But it's going to leave us in a position where our mid lane turrets are really, really far pushed in. And if we make a mistake when our turrets are that far pushed in, that could be the end of the game. We saw that with the Akali in the Shyvana game, I believe it was a couple days ago now at this point. If you haven't watched that video, that one is a banger. 24-0 enemy top laner. And we still won the game because we played the game right and we waited for our opportunity. Vex looking pretty juicy here. Warwick's going to back her up like a little bodyguard, though. So we aren't going to get the kill on the Vex, but we do get the kill on Draven and Leona, which gives us a perfect opportunity to take this dragon as soon as it spawns. I love saying that with those words. An opportunity to take the dragon for free right when it spawns. It's like a wet dream for me, almost. Warwick's in the area, but, you know, we're better than him anyway. If he dives in here to get it, he'll, you know, get himself killed for a single dragon. That's not too big of a deal for us. Plus, more than likely, we'll smite it anyway. Our ult's down. We're looking to clear our camps. Right now, though, we are also looking at our gold count. We have a full item in base. We definitely want to back as soon as possible as well. So as soon as this camp is down, we're backing. We do have 2 camps up on top side, but because they can sequence with each other, we're not too worried about getting them right now. We can just go back, get our item, get back on the map, and then take our items then. We see Set get a kill. We take a look. Oh, he is fully dead. We have no camps. All right. I was thinking about helping you. Maybe I won't. Instead, we'll just do our best to defend the tower. We're trying to bait here, trying to get Leona to use her abilities. This is a really funny situation. Gangplank gets hit with so much damage. I should have ulted him here, but I was a little too hesitant. And I think that's the correct decision. You know, all things said and done, I can kill Gangplank for sure, but can I get out? I don't think so. So I don't think it's a bad decision not to like int for the kill there. Here, I try to catch Vex out of where she needs to be. Unfortunately, not going to be able to do much when she flashes and has a fear ready for me as well. Really well played by the Vex there. Vex can be a super, super strong champion because she has a really good kit for anti-dive, which is kind of all that Nocturne does, right? He is a dive champion. He is a power farming into dive champion. And Vex is all about that anti-dive. So it's very hard, but we're really trying to get that 5th Ultimate Hunter stack with the experimental hex plate giving us ultimate haste. If we can get 5 stacks, our ultimate will be on a super low cooldown and it'll be super nice. I don't know how Set survived as long as he did here. He gets 2 kills, I believe, for the Zillion. And, you know, keeps them all in a great area where I've got my ult in 5 seconds as soon as I spawn. I'm not worried about my camps if I got 3 kills like that on the board. We jump on to Draven, help Mel get that kill. Now here I am just flashing to catch up, knowing that she has to do something. She murders my Twisted Fate, which is really funny. But Twisted Fate stomps her just long enough for me to get that kill. Now we're at 5 Ultimate Hunter stacks, and look at that. Our ult's already back up in another 50 seconds. We love to see it. 4 members of the enemy team dead, though. The decision making here is pretty clear. Otacon is up. Let's go ahead and get it. Now, the only problem with Otacon for Nocturne is that because you're not technically in the jungle, you don't get any of your mana back. And so you'll see here, because I'm going through my mana pretty quickly, I do run out of mana. I wonder if it's probably not worth to use your E on objectives like this. It doesn't do a ton of damage, and they can't really get feared. So maybe I shouldn't do that and just save more of my mana for my Qs and my W. Almost forget to hit the Blood Roses, but we do eventually come back. One thing I am a little disappointed about on Nocturne, I was hoping that my passive would let me hit multiple Blood Roses, you know? The passive circular auto attack should hit more Blood Roses than just one, in my opinion, but apparently they don't activate on plants, which is very sad, but not a big deal. We're looking really good though in this game, you know, 6, 2, and 5. We've gotten, I think, 3 dragons at this point. We're looking towards that 4th one here pretty soon. We're feeling good. You know, we are definitely playing better than this Warwick, and although the Draven is very, very strong, Draven has basically no mobility and no escape tools, so he's a pretty easy target to jump on and wreck pretty easily. My team is fighting pretty crazy here in the top side. Dragon spawning in 45. Thinking about how we're going to make that happen. One of those ways might be just trading it for the Rift Herald. As I said, I'm not worried about getting the Rift Herald in the first place anyway. So it doesn't make too much worries in my book if they get it. What does make some worries is getting that flash off of the Draven. Some really good dodges here from me. Very happy with the way I played this little fight. You know, staying close to the fight, but not getting hit by anything. I mean, Leona also kind of trolled a little bit, but boom, getting Leona there. Warwick gets caught, Leona gets low and killed. I'm like, oh, okay, sick. Warwick, hey, what's up, man? You're pretty low HP. Getting a couple kills for our Mel there. Just a really good, well-played fight from our team. Backing up, hitting them with damage every time we get the chance. Warwick dies again as the 4th dragon spawns, which it's the catchphrase at this point. Another free dragon the second it spawns. We love, love, love to see that. Keeping an eye out here for the Vex, just making sure that we're not about to get jumped or get the dragon stolen. The good news is that it's not going to be that. And now the Vex is under the tower. I'm surprised this tower is still alive at this point. I do hit her with a couple nice little auto attacks, and then I think we can kill the tower, but am unfortunately proven very wrong. A useless W just to style on him a little bit more. Let's get our Black Cleaver. Now, I don't know if Black Cleaver is the best 3rd item. I just know that they've got some decently tanky boys on their team, and removing some of that armor would probably be pretty beneficial for me and Set. Also, Black Cleaver gives a ton of HP and cooldown, which are always welcome on builds like this. My team gets both of those kills, and I'm like, well, what's up for me to take? Red buff, always a good one to start at, and it looks like our top side is spawning as well. So it can be kind of hard to make a decision when you have a lot of camps up to decide where to start. I always like starting on the buffs because that's just a really good, you know, thing to get for your team, especially post 25 minutes. And then you can go ahead and clear in whatever direction you want from there. One thing you do want to use probably pretty often, I don't know how often exactly, but Nocturne Q, that little shadow that spawns on the ground, it does give you movement speed. So if you've got an opportunity where you know you're not going to need your Q in the next 8 seconds, you can go ahead and throw that thing down and get a little bit of movement speed. Try to time my W after the fear. It does hit me just a little bit before, but not a big deal. Our passive will heal us up to basically full. At this point, I'm thinking, oh, my team wants to take it. I hit it, and everybody leaves. So I'm like, oh, okay, I guess that's not the play that we were making. My bad. I'll back up then. Another really good spot here. You don't want to be in the front lines of these fights. You want to wait until your opportunity arises and then jump in, kind of like this, where we see the Vex get low, and so we jump. I meant to click on the Vex. Somehow I clicked on the Leona, which does put me in a pretty bad position, but distracts the enemy team for long enough that they do int away just enough kills for me to not feel too dumb for dying there. Like maybe their entire team dying. 1 for 5? Is that because of me? No, they were just a little distracted by me. That's probably the most of the contribution that I made to that fight, but we'll take credit for a lot of the stuff anyway. Luckily, we hit a lot of those members before we died, and so we get a lot of assists, which makes us look way cooler on the KDA sheets at the end of the game. My team doing what they do best. 4 members alive to their 0. Let's get some turrets. You know the drill. I'm thinking about what our next step is as the jungler. My team backs off, which I think is smart from them. Baron's up, sure, but everybody on their team is respawning. We can't just force it because, you know, they're still very strong. And so, looking at those camps, I'm thinking, I might just want to get these camps. We finally upgrade our boots to the plated steel caps. Draven definitely seems to be the problem child of their team, and so getting those plated steel caps will be very nice. We could also go for Merc Treads. Merc Treads are really good on Nocturne, just making sure you have as much tenacity as possible, so then you can just hit them without worrying about getting stunned for 12 years. Very nice to have those boots whenever you can get them. Checking to see if that Scuttle Crab was going to spawn super soon. It wasn't, so I look like a dumbass, but that's fine. We're just farming up anyway. Nobody's taking a fight right now. Mid lane's just kind of chilling. Everybody's in the mid lane, not really doing too much, but everybody's positioning like they might want to do something. This is a very strange one from the Warwick here. I don't know if this is like he's tilted or what. He charges Rift Herald past my entire team. I'm a little bit worried because I don't want my team to just get pinched by the Warwick. So I throw out some abilities myself to try and, you know, get them to focus on me. Works enough to get the gangplank killed. And now there's 3 members of them left. We get a little bit of damage onto the Draven. I'm already on in there. He flashes too early. What a dumbass. We kill him. Well, I don't kill him, but I make sure that he is the one that dies eventually. Theoretically, I thought. Yeah, there he goes. I was like, surely all that damage on the Draven doesn't get not followed up by my team. And it didn't. So we're good. Look, only 1 member of their team alive. You already know what's about to go down. It's been a fantastic game. I really enjoyed playing Nocturne. You'll probably see me play him a few more times here on the channel. If you enjoyed the video, go ahead and give it a like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Go play Nocturne today. He's super fun. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.